Greetings, Aquarius, my lovely Aquarius people. Welcome, welcome. Aquarius, we're here today to do a love reading for you. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. I welcome you here. And thank you for taking the time to join me today. For those of you returning Aquariuses, welcome back. And thank you for your support, your energy, your messages. I truly appreciate you, Aquarius, and I appreciate your presence here today. All right, Aquarius, this is a general reading. So if you find that the stories that come out here today do not resonate with your situation, do not panic, Aquarius. All that means is you need to click the subscribe button and mash that notification bell, because in coming days your message will appear and you want to be the first one to know that it's there. Okay, Aquarius? That being said, I do live in the city. There are background noises that I cannot control, and hopefully they'll be at a low roar and not distract too much from the messages being given here. All right, Spirit, let's get some messages on the board for my Aquarius people. What can they expect in the coming days for love and romance? And if you have any warnings that they need to be aware of, Spirit, let those come out as well. All right, Aquarius, let's get some messages on the board. We're going to start with some oracle messages, and then we're going to clarify those messages further with the tarot. All right, let's get started here. All right, Aquarius, your first message comes by way of wild winds, being followed by warrior woman, and finally transform with raven. All right, so Aquarius, with this wild winds card, the message speaks to allowing those urges and nudges from intuition to come in and guide you. It's talking about being able to get quiet so that you can hear the messages. And yes, that can mean through meditation, but getting quiet doesn't have to be meditation. It's just sitting still and allowing those messages to come forth within you. All right. Sometimes we forget in our fast-paced world that, you know, Spirit is always available to us and always giving us the nudges and urges that we need to listen to. So if you're not adept at hearing, seeing, feeling these messages, what you need to know is they come in very subtly. And it might feel like, you know, your mind's playing tricks on you in a sort. But that's not the case. That's just the voice of Spirit and how it comes through, okay? You're also going to see with this wild winds card being present, that means that there are synchronicities that are playing out, you know, whether you're seeing certain messages reflected to you in, I don't know, signs, as far as, I mean, literal signs, like you're driving down the street and there's a billboard with a message, and then you see that message repeated somewhere else, whether certain songs seem to come on the radio, which just are giving a certain message that kind of calls your attention forth. Those types of synchronicities, messages coming through the dream world and in your dreams at night, those types of messages are the messages that Spirit's urging you, because when wild winds comes forward like this, it's letting you know that those answers that you feel perplexed about, they're being given. You just may not be, you know, looking at them. So if you're seeing like recurring numbers, symbols, things like that, pay attention to what you're seeing there, because that is Spirit's way of guiding you through your current situation in your love life. All right. Our next message is coming by way of Warrior Woman, and you know, this applies to you whether you're male or female. All right. But the energy of Warrior Woman, it's talking about how, you know, things take work. A warrior is hard working. A warrior stays on the battlefield until the very end. A warrior fights for what they want. And I feel, Aquarius, with this message here that, you know, you haven't come by anything easy in terms of your love life, right? It seemed at times as it's been a great battle, or that you have been in opposition or been placed in situations where you feel as if you're in opposition with the one that you desire, right? And just know that if you're feeling discouraged, you have everything you need within you to get through your current situation, and you'll win, because the warrior comes out victorious. So if you're in a period of separation or no contact with the one that you desire, know that you will win, and know that you need to depend on that inner strength within you to get through your current situation, right? It's going to take time. It's not, you know, the warrior isn't engaged to go out and slay something real quick. The warrior is the one called in when the battle is long and hard, and there has to be stamina, because a warrior has great stamina. They have great insight. Again, they listen to their intuition and know how to move because of it. So feel encouraged, even though you may be feeling weary in your current situation. This is Spirit's way of saying you have everything within you, the resolve to get through this. Even if you're feeling weak, you have it within you. You just got to dig deep and lock into that warrior energy. Okay? And I feel that many of you have been feeling weary and weak. So that is Spirit's acknowledgement that they see you, and again, they are guiding you here. Transform with Raven is talking about using your innate intelligence to think outside the box here. So you may be facing certain blockages within your connection with the one you desire, and you are stuck in this mode of, how do I get around this? How do I go through this? How do I go under it? How do I get past this current blockage? It's not about that. It's about digging in and seeing how you can actually get through it in a new way. So what have you been doing that has not been working, that you need to transform and come at it with new energy? If there's been a lot of fighting and battling that way with the one you desire, then look at your patterns of behavior as far as that's concerned. How are you engaging your person? It's time to engage them differently to get to a different result. Can't keep going around in the same circles with this Raven energy. All right? It's talking about getting there in a new way. All right. So let's go ahead and clarify these messages that the Oracle cards brought forward. Excuse me one moment. Sorry about that, Aquarius. Let's clarify these messages with the tarot and see what further information we can get to here. Give me a moment to shuffle, and Spirit will guide me as to when I should stop shuffling and place the messages on the board. So while we have this moment, this is a good time for you, Aquarius, to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and mash that notification bell. Support my channel energetically. It's free. Support my channel energetically and help me build a tribe here that stays connected to source and the messages coming forward. All right. First clarification message comes by way of the Two of Swords. Followed by the Hermit. And the Six of Swords. All right, so some of you, right off the bat, I can see you're in no contact situations. You're not in contact with the one that you want. Some of you may have walked away from your current situation, or you've been walked away from. Your person has left. That's what I'm seeing here. The energy behind it all, though, is that of the Ten of Coins, which is the Ten of Pentacles, which is having a solid connection that is, you know, legacy kind of stuff, having a family and that type of thing. So that's ultimately, at the end of the day, wonderful energy. So if you are in a state of separation from the one that you desire currently, Aquarius, it may have needed to happen in order to bring this in to being what it is that you want it to be. And for others of you, this may have needed to occur so that someone new could come in, but we're going to get into that a little further here. Let me move these out of the way here. So with this message of wild winds being clarified by the Two of Swords, again, this is representing that many of you have blocked yourself off to the messages coming through from Spirit. You may find yourself currently in a state of feeling the pain of not being with the one that you desire. You may have felt as if, you know, the heartbreak present here, because I feel like many of you are currently in that state of heartbreak. Okay, some of you have already passed through the actual pain of the heartbreak and you're starting to come out the other end of it, but many of you are currently in that state of heartbreak, and these messages that Spirit has been guiding you, you know, whether a song reminds you of that person and you're hearing that song constantly, or you're seeing that person's name everywhere you go, those types of signs, you've been feeling like it just brings more and more pain. Like every time you see something of that nature, you feel the pain fresh again. And so you're blocking out the messages because of those feelings and not wanting to constantly feel pain, right? Makes sense. But Spirit is saying, you know, you have to get past that urge. Of course, some big ass truck is outside. I apologize again. Hopefully that's not too distracting, but I don't even think it's a truck. I think they're doing some bullshit down there that's really loud. Anyways, I apologize. Let's move forward, Aquarius. So what Spirit is saying here is you have to get past being fearful of feeling the pain, because these are messages that are coming to you for a reason and you need to take note of them, okay? Also, this is another message related to that pain, in that you absolutely have to feel that pain and allow that pain to do what it needs to do, which is burn away. In other words, the pain is present to burn away some of the things that need to be changed, that need to be transformed at this time in your connection, right? So the pain is highlighting for you some of the things within yourself, Aquarius, that you need to be working on so that you are able to create a whole healthy connection with this person. All right. So that may be where you are giving your all to someone and they are giving very little in return, right? Or they're taking you for granted. And then that pain comes in during separation because you're like, damn, I gave away everything within me of value and this person is still kicking me in the face, right? So it's like that pain is highlighting where you don't have the proper boundaries in your connection, and therefore that person is not respecting you. They're not treating you as special. They're not, hold on one moment, Aquarius. This is ridiculous. Let me see if there's anything I can do here to get rid of this background noise. Okay, sorry about that, Aquarius. Tried to muffle it a little bit. So it's talking about, again, you know, in that instance that I had highlighted, is talking about boundaries and the need for boundaries in love, period, right? Because a lack of boundaries means a person can walk in and walk all over you, and they will, because there's no boundary, there's no rule in place that you've put down that says, you cannot do this to me, I will not stand for this. And therefore that person is seeing that as you having a lack of self-respect. And even in the funny thing, in situations regarding love, right? Even otherwise wonderful, good-hearted people can get full of themselves when dealing in love with someone who they feel doesn't have the proper respect for themselves. And they can act in ways that are ugly and that force you into pain and into heartbreak. So that's a message that's coming through very strongly and clearly with this Two of Swords clarifying. Look at those areas that Spirit is highlighting for you through your pain so that you can get through to a better version of you, okay? Pain isn't useless in this case for you, is what this is calling out, Aquarius. Your pain is another tool that you as a warrior are able to use in order to recreate your situation, in order to win in your situation, in order to get through to what it is that you desire in love, okay? It's a tool that should be used. And warriors feel pain, right? They are injured in battle. They take on the pain of others to get through and get to the win, okay? So in this case, your pain is a useful tool in order for you to get through this as a better version of yourself. And if you feel, Aquarius, like that pain is overwhelming for you at this time, in the sense that you truly cannot handle it, then like a warrior, you have to get to the resources that you need, right? Warriors are smart in that they know in certain cases that when things get to a certain point in battle, they can't do it alone. They call for reinforcements. They call for the support that they need. That's how they're able to move forward. That's how they're able to keep fighting. That's how they're able to keep going. In Aquarius, some of you need to go ahead and call for your supporting troops, whether those are counselors, whether those are relationship coaches, you know, whether those are good friends who will not judge you and just listen and not say anything and just allow you to pour out everything inside of you that is causing you this great pain and anguish, right? Because sometimes we just need a sounding board. Sometimes we just need someone to listen without judgment. Sometimes we just need to speak it, get it off of our chest literally and out and outside of us through our words, through our tears, so that that pain doesn't stay wound up within our hearts, right? Then you'll be able to get to the insight and tap into the knowledge and information that Spirit is pulling through. You'll be able to see those signs and synchronicities when the next thing happens with that person that you can use with this raven energy to your advantage to rebuild and reconnect. You're there for it. You're present for it. You have to get that pain out of the way so that you can actually hear, see, and know and transform your situation, right? Some of us can do that with a circle of friends. Some of us have to go and get that third party that we engage, like a counselor, so that they can come in and be that impartial person, that sounding board. All right. The Hermit is clarifying this warrior card, and the Hermit again is talking about the whole going within, which is what I just spoke of, and getting it out, because the Hermit is looking into this lamp which holds the light of Spirit, right? That's external to him. But maybe this Hermit spoke some things over this lamp, prayed some things over this lamp, and now the lamp holds that power external to him, okay? And so it's also speaking about what may seem like deadening silence that's going on in your connection with this person. And, you know, if you are Aquarius, and I feel that some of you may be in a state of reaching out to someone who is not listening. Well, actually, they're listening. They're hearing your messages. They're seeing your texts. They're just not responding, right? And so this is cautioning you from Spirit to get silent yourself, not continue reaching out to this person, because this is just building up an energy of selfishness in this other person, and that they feel like they have you exactly where the hell they want you. And it's a power play on their part. So someone trying to control this warrior spirit within you, okay? You're fighting for the connection by reaching out, by leaving voicemails, by leaving texts, by showing up where this person is or where you know they go and frequent regularly. You're showing up because that warrior part of you is trying to fight for the connection. But this misguided warrior part of you, currently misguided, should be standing in your own silence with this person, because that will be exactly what turns this person's head. When you suddenly cut off this type of activity and you stand in your own healing and you stand in your own strength, this person is going to be like, what? Where's Aquarius? Wait a minute. Where did my Aquarius go? Right? And that type of transformative action of doing nothing on your part can cause the tables to turn in your favor, Aquarius. All right, let's take a closer look at this transform with Raven being clarified by the Six of Swords. Again, the Six of Swords talks about leaving for calmer waters, and the calmer waters have to be present within you, right? So there is a space of calmness no matter how up and down you feel right now, how emotionally unbalanced you may feel as a result of what's happening in this connection. There is a calmness within you that you need to tap into. And that's what this Raven is saying, because this Raven energy is ready to guide you. All right. And in allowing this Raven energy to rebuild this connection, because I do feel, I'm just seeing this wing here, and I know it's supposed to be a depiction of a wing of a raven, but I am seeing this as your guidances, your angels, your spiritual support system trying to do the work on the other end that you're not currently seeing. So you see her eyes are closed. You're not seeing their activity. They're trying to work on this person. Okay, they're trying to open the doors with this person, within this person, that allows them to feel this connection as strongly as you feel this connection. But for many of you, with this incessant trying to reach out to this person, be in this person's space, that's working as the block to what spirit is trying to do, what the divine is trying to do on the other end. Like the divine, of course, can work miracles, right? Make anything that's supposed to be. But we oftentimes get in the way because we're not trusting what's happening with the divine. And that is what I'm seeing here with the Six of Swords. So the divine is urging you, complete a transformation within yourself. Look at what it was in this connection that was not serving you well. Look how this connection was hurting you, and look at how you can address those issues going forward in this connection. All right. For those of you who don't want an ex back, and this is about you wanting someone new, then the pain of what happened in the past you have to allow that to transform those parts of you, so that when that new connection approaches, you are then able to come into it healed, setting those boundaries that we talked about, setting forth from the beginning the practices that you need as you meet new people. Like, you need to be able to vet that person properly, to know who is sitting across the table from you and who you're dealing with, and if that person is worthy of a place in your life. Not every new person you meet is going to be the potential one, so you need to be able to quickly walk away from those who are not the one, to make space for the one. Okay, you can't just be in a connection just to be there, and you certainly cannot, as far as spirit's concerned, hear from the messages that they're pushing forward. You cannot just have a place filler until you meet the one. You need to make space for the one. And some of you, that can start as a process of you just making space in your life, right? Some of you, I just got a picture of a very cluttered living space where literally, even if the one showed up today, there would be no space for them to occupy in your physical workspace. And you have to consider how Your physical space is just a reflection of your spiritual space within, your mental space, you know. So your mind, there may be some things you need to clear out of your mind, as we've already highlighted here. And clearing your physical home, your physical space, will help to start that process of clearing your mind as well. What's within is without, what's without is within. All right, that's a spiritual principle. And, you know, trying to butt your head and fight against a spiritual principle is you not being a smart warrior. All right. All right, so let's further clarify these messages. I hope that this is helpful to many of you. And excuse me. I'm choking up, which there's no reason for me, myself, to be choking up at this moment. So I know that's the energy that's coming through as I tap into the Aquarius collective here. So some of you are choking up on some of these things that we're talking about here, clearing out your heart space, your mind space, and preparing yourself as you move forward with your battle here. And you need to do the work of clearing. All right. So we're further clarifying this message that came forward with this Two of Swords with the Five of Swords in the reverse. So yeah, setting these proper boundaries, Aquarius, are going to allow you to come out of this space of impoverishment you feel in the connection. It's going to allow you to come out of this spirit of impoverishment that you are feeling in your love life. Aquarius, set the proper boundaries. You cannot allow a love interest to come in and just run ramshod through your heart, through your life. You know, you have to have the boundaries there. And that is the way that the boundaries is coming forward as the way that you obtain greater control, like a warrior would, in what happens in your love life and what doesn't happen. And there's nothing wrong with seeking that control. This is also letting me know that, you know, there may be a great amount of, dare I say, narcissistic energy present in the one that you have been dealing with or had dealt with in the past. All right. And the setting the boundaries within you is going to allow you to release the damage of that. And that's not to say that this person was a all straight out narcissist, although they may have been. But this is to say that, I mean, narcissistic energy is present in all of us. It's not a problem, because it's that spirit of looking out for ourselves, right? It's not a problem unless the person is overwhelmed by it and completely narcissistic in every way, right? So there may have been a great amount of narcissistic energy in that person, in that they were only there for themselves and what they could gain from you, whether that was money, whether that was a place to live, whether that was just someone bending over backwards and being a doormat for their every whim and desire. All right. So the way to controlling how someone comes in and treats you is through setting proper boundaries. All right. Let's further clarify the message that came through with this Hermit. And we have the energy of the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. So the Nine of Pentacles upright speaks of being abundant and wealthy on your own. emotionally and physically wealthy, right? And having everything you need at your avail, and being a self-contained wonder, like a self-contained warrior who has what they need, knows when to reach out when they need assistance, right? But this is truly speaking to not being in possession of that, and this time that you're going to spend working on all of these things we're speaking of is going to turn this on its head and give you everything that you need and desire, including everything you need and desire in your love connection, right? So it's also speaking of knowing that once you turn this energy upside down, this person has to come back to you in the right energy. And if they don't, you'll be stronger in that you can put them on the back burner until they are able to come to you in the right energy. And for those of you seeking a new connection, this will allow you to easily reject anything that is not for your good, right? Anyone that's trying to come in with aims of putting you in a similar situation as people who have caused you pain in the past, they're going to get rejected, okay? And you're going to be able to hold that space and attract the one who really deserves to be there. All right? And this is going to be very valuable to you as you move forward. All right? It's going to be an end to being alone as well. So the Nine of Pentacles speaks of someone who's alone and self-sufficient and happy and has all that they desire, right? But with it being on the reverse, the positive side of that is as soon as you do this work, as soon as you move differently towards the person that you desire, they're going to wife you up, or they're going to be wifed up by you, because it is a transformative energy that's going to allow them to see your true value, that you are the one, that they cannot live without you, that they must have you in their world, and they must treat you as if you are the king or queen that you are. That's powerful, Aquarius. All right, let's clarify the energy that came through with this Six of Swords. And we do so with the Emperor in the reverse. Yeah, so this is also taking a look, Aquarius, at what you are actually putting out there. Like stepping back and objectively looking at what your actions say to this person. So has your incessant need to be in their space when they are playing games has that made you come across in a way that makes you look like you're out of control, that you're a control freak, that you're trying to control them, that you're trying to be controlling? Not saying that's your aim, but is that how that person is viewing those current actions? That person who refuses to be controlled by anyone, that wants to play the field, that wants to be out there giving to third parties, is that how they're viewing you, as you trying to take control? Are they viewing this warrior energy that's coming through your actions? Are they viewing that in a negative light? You know, there is a negative side to the warrior, in that, you know, the warrior can be seen as coming in to take control and only only looking to their own aims and desires, excuse me, to take control of a situation. So this Emperor in the reverse is saying, are you out of control right now, Aquarius? Do you need to rein in your energy? Do you need to further examine and actually change the way you're approaching things? Because the Emperor in the upright is very nurturing, very loving, does have control, right? But they're doing it in a way that feels good to everyone involved, all right? So the Emperor energy is a very fatherly like energy, because the Emperor is the father of the deck. And this is the good father, the father that does what they're supposed to do to support the home and those that they love, right? They support them emotionally in a very kind and loving way. So are you coming across that way? Are you even being kind and loving to yourself? Let's start there, okay? Because if that person sees you in the light that we just spoke about, then what also is coming through is the fact that you're not even kind and loving to yourself, because you're willing to play yourself by chasing someone that does not want them. All right. So let's turn that Emperor energy upright and make it work for us, Aquarius, versus hurt us and further separate us from who and what we desire and love. Wow. Powerful messages. You may need to listen to this again in order to really get what was downloaded here for you. All right. All right, Aquarius, please subscribe to my channel. Those are your messages today, and I look forward to seeing you again in future messages. Until then, take care.